Hello and welcome. I'm Peggy, and I'm very glad you joined us today. And I have somebody special sitting here on the couch. Paula Church is here. She is the Community Relations Coordinator for the Greenville County Animal Care. And of course, I have Rose right here with me. And I may not be able to part with Rose. She's a tiny little baby. How old is Rose?
Oh gosh, she's probably about 6 weeks old, 5 or 6 weeks old, and she is very comfortable.
Yes, she's gone to sleep. But I'm delighted to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I tell you the truth, we were talking before, and we're talking about the needs that need to be met, and that with humans as well as animals. But I said anyone who mistreats an animal or a child is in trouble with me. They wouldn't ever want to put me on a jury.
Well, yeah, and they would be in trouble with us too.
Yeah. But thank you for coming, and thank you for bringing Rose.
Oh, she was hard to resist.
Rose gone sound asleep. Yeah, but I want to talk a little bit in depth about what you do. And Rose is just one little creature that you brought. I imagine you have many.
We do. We have a lot. We're actually the largest open admission intake shelter in the state of South Carolina. So
now wait, open admission. Explain what you mean.
Well, open admission means that we take all animals. We don't turn any animal away. We don't have any breed restrictions, health restrictions, behavior restrictions, weight restrictions. We take everything. So any animal that's in need, any dog, cat, puppy, or kitten that's in need, they're welcome into our facility, and we give them the care and the help that they need. Most of them come in happy and healthy and are highly adoptable, and we're very, very successful in getting those out. It's more of a challenge when you are dealing with small, underweight animals that have to be fostered before they can actually be spayed or neutered. We get a lot of animals that are heartworm positive. We get some that have suffered different medical situations. So we take in hoarding cases from animal control. We take in puppy mill cases. So we're often called upon to take in things that are quite unique and can very quickly add to overcrowding in the shelter.
Then where is your shelter?
We are located behind Cherrydale. We're at 328 Furman Hall Road. So it's just right back there, kind of in between Poinsett Highway and North Pleasantburg.
Now, do you have volunteers, or how do you manage to keep all this going?
Oh, goodness, yes. We have wonderful volunteers. We have a great volunteer program, and we can always use more. So if anybody were interested in volunteering, we have an application online. They can go directly to our website at greenvillepets.org. They can fill out that application, and our foster manager will be in touch to schedule a training. So our volunteers do have to go through a training, in some cases more than one, just depending on the area that they want to volunteer in.
And they have to commit to a certain time, or
it's nice if they can. You know, we understand that they're volunteers, and any time that somebody can donate is wonderful. So we have different programs. It's really up to the volunteer. So we have people that come in and walk our large dogs. We have people that like to work in the small dog room. We have cat and kitten people who prefer to go into the cat room and make sure that those animals are, their cages are nice and clean, and that they have plenty of playtime and enrichment time. So, you know, those are all the things that as a staff, we get busy. We can't necessarily get them out and play with them. So that little extra enrichment is going to come from our volunteers.
Now, how old is Rose?
Rose is probably, we're thinking somewhere around 5 or 6 weeks old. So she is available for pre-adoption. So it would be a foster situation. We would call that a foster to adopt. They could come to animal care and fill out a foster application, take them home. That way, when she gets a little bit bigger, I think she's probably not quite where she needs to be spayed. They need to be somewhere around 2 pounds.
She is precious.
Yeah, so they can keep her for a week or two until she's big enough, and then they can bring her right back in. We'll get her fixed. We'll get her age-appropriate vaccines. We'll microchip her, and she can go home.
So you always have an abundance of animals that need homes, don't you?
We do.
It's so sad.
We do. You know, we, as an open admission shelter, like I said, we don't turn any away. And, you know, especially spring and summer is difficult because we see a high intake of animals in the spring and summertime. So we're coming on the tail end of that. But right now, actually, we're lower on animals right now than we ordinarily are because we've been very actively involved in the rescue mission down on the coast from the Hurricane Florence situation. So we've been trying to...
So you've taken in animals that...
We have. We've taken in some animals from the coast. Well, a lot of what we need to do in preparation is clear animals out of the shelter to make room for any incoming. So in this particular situation, the storm itself wasn't that bad, but there's so much flooding that is going to continue to happen over the next several days. We don't know exactly what we're dealing with, but there's still a huge rescue mission going on down in the coast, pulling animals out of, out of bad situations.
Yes.
And so a lot of those are coming to our shelter. We took in, I believe, 40 cats today, and 34 dogs today.
Oh.
Those will actually be going on a transport to other shelters. Some might be staying with us. We've got more coming in tomorrow from the coast, but we've also got other transport shelters
Now you
coming
have to
in.
provide medical care and food for these animals?
We do. In a lot of cases, they're out quickly. They don't have medical certificates, so our veterinary staff and medical team, well, our whole staff is just amazing. A lot of times these transports are happening over, at odd hours overnight. So our staff is going pretty much 24/7, doing everything we can to make sure that these animals are safe, that they have their health certificates and everything is in order, so that they can go back out into the shelter and up to other shelters.
Now,
so we're a hub, so to speak.
Will Rose be up for adoption?
She will be, yes. She is. She's available today. She, she definitely will be looking for a home, and she is so sweet. I think that somebody would be very, very lucky to end up with our sweet Rose.
I think so too. It's all I can do not to take her home.
Well, we can make that happen.
But what are some of the needs that you have on an ongoing basis? I mean, do you need volunteers?
We do.
All the time?
We always need volunteers. Foster volunteers are wonderful. We have a lot of times we have animals with upper respiratory infections that they can get healthy quicker outside of the shelter and in a nice quiet home. So if you have pets at home, our foster manager can talk to you about keeping your animals safe. I think in most cases, most people that are going to bring animals into their home, their animals are vaccinated, but it's still, a lot of nice precautionary measures that people should take to keep everybody healthy and safe. But even if somebody wanted to help getting a large dog, an at-risk dog, out of the shelter, if we get to a point where we're crowded, that's highly helpful too. I mean, we've talked a little bit about what it means to build a no-kill community, and that's actually making sure that we've got solutions, homes and
now,
solutions.
A no-kill
we're
community?
working towards building a no-kill community. I hesitate to say no-kill only because this is something that's always going to be ongoing. So really, until there's not a need for shelters, there's always going to be at-risk animals like our young under 1 pound kittens and large over 40 pound heartworm positive dogs. So those are the animals that are most at risk in shelters, and those are the ones that we're working hard to find solutions for in terms of building a no-kill community. So it's important for people to understand that in building an impact community, your shelter has to have a direct impact on life saving. So as an open admission shelter, nobody's turned away. We have to look for viable solutions for all adoptable
So you don't turn any
animals.
animal away?
No. In a lot of cases, we take animals if they've been hit by a car. Young kittens like Rose. We take in over 40-pound dogs. We have pit bulls there. We don't restrict breed, so we take in pretty much any of the breeds, and we take in behavior situations. And again, you know, an animal with a fixable behavior problem is one that we're obligated to save. So again, that's what building a no-kill community is all about.
A fixable behavior.
A fixable behavior
what do you
issue.
mean by that?
So if we have an animal that comes in that's showing some aggression, it might be just because it's in a scary situation, or it's a situation that they've never been exposed to before. We work with a lot of dog trainers, and if they feel as though these animals are fixable or treatable through a training program, we're going to make sure they get the training that they need so that they can be successful house pets. So it really is, you know, there's a lot more that goes into no-kill than, you know, what it sounds like. You know, it's really easy to say, oh yeah, we're a no-kill shelter, but if you are limiting the animals that are coming into the shelter, then, you know, you have to ask what kind of impact are they having on life saving. So, you know, there's way more to it
so
than
you
just
take any
the
animal.
obvious. We do.
You don't turn animals away.
Right, right. Any animal, dog, cat, puppy, or kitten. Now we don't take we don't take gerbils or, you know, hedgehogs, guinea pigs, those kind of animals. And there's other rescues that we can help people with if they have a need for those types of rescues. But we deal mostly with house pets, and you know, a lot of our programs are geared towards helping people and solutions for their pets. So we do high volume spay neuter. We actually looked at end of month surgeries for August and realized that 90% of the spay neuter surgeries we did were absolutely free. And I think, again, a lot of people would be surprised to know that, but everything we do is designed to impact life-saving. So we have a community cat program that truthfully is the backbone of any shelter like ours.
A community cat program?
Yes, we do.
Will Rose be in that?
No, she actually will be, she's an adoptable pet. So TNR, our community cat program is really a trap, neuter, return program where we're taking outdoor cats and putting them back outside to their family home. So we realized that less than 1% of the cats that were coming into our shelter were being reclaimed as lost or missing cats from the public, which told us these cats were healthy. They were coming in fat and well-fed and fluffy. And so we realized that these cats had a home. Their home was outside of the shelter. People weren't coming in to look for their cats, so obviously they have a much better chance of finding their way home if we put them back outside to their outdoor home where they came from. So that's kind of the basis behind Trap, Neuter, Return. Since we've started that program in 2016, we've limited our intake of cats by 50%. So all of that, you know, is going towards saving lives.
But now you don't turn any animal away.
No, any animal that's brought into the shelter is accepted into our shelter. So we look for solutions. So TNR is a solution for an outdoor cat. We wouldn't take an indoor cat and make it a part of that community cat or trap, neuter, return program, because obviously an indoor cat has lived inside. They might not be suitable to go back outside. They may not know how to fend for themselves outside. So, so a cat like that would be brought into the adoption program, just like Rose. She's a very friendly social cat. You did.
It's all I can do to give her back to you, I'll tell you that. Yeah. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be back. But we have a phone number, and anybody who cares about animals, I think that we are very grateful to have the Greenville County Animal Care Facility. And I know you need the support of all of us.
You do.
We'll be right back.